Ethan Klein, host of the H3H3 podcast, got into some drama recently when he berated one of his employees live on stream. But the kicker is that he didn't actually know he was live on stream, and so here is what actually happened.
I feel like we should have just
Oh, sorry, I watch everything on 2x speed.
did the whole thing. We were at the end.
Yeah, we can. Let's end it. You want to tell me?
And by it, they're saying, let's end the PowerPoint presentation that one of their members had put together, talking about Jack Darcy or Jack Doherty, whatever his name is. But they were saying that they were getting close to the end of the live stream. They're about to run out of time, so they're debating on whether or not to end the PowerPoint presentation and the live stream earlier than anticipated because they hadn't actually finished the PowerPoint yet.
Tell me about his scam.
You mean finish it all up today?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, we're close enough.
Final words.
We got 10 minutes. Do we watch this?
Like I have this new
Final
clip thing where,
words
like I have a Discord and people, like,
me.
people that join my course, they can use they get access to.
We covered most of
We're
it.
doing it.
What are
Making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like,
We need to get home for our kids.
it's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I'm about finishing
On
Wednesday.
Friday, maybe. Is it?
You guys, like.
All right, I'm taking my hand off the... All right.
Okay, so for context, what happened there was Ethan pressed the button. And for those of you that are unaware, their stream runs on a 30-second delay. And every time Ethan presses the button, it will cut the previous 30 seconds from airing live on stream and will continue to cut the footage as long as his as long as his hand is held down on the button. Basically, what this does is that if he says something that he doesn't actually want getting out onto the live stream, then he's able to just press a button and cut it off. He's used it pretty constantly throughout his time. So basically what happened is AB, who's one of the people on the team, made a PowerPoint presentation about Jack Doherty, and the stream went long, so they couldn't finish the presentation. AB then was jokingly upset about the situation, and then Ethan hit the button in order to berate him live on stream, thinking that nobody would be able to hear him berate him. But as you can see, they did. And after this happened, this kind of blew up on this subreddit called H3 Snark, which is basically criticism for the H3 podcast and the H3 show with Ethan Klein. And scrolling through top of the last week here, you can see button failure. This is talking about the instance. And then when the mask slips and you can't pass the blame, referring to the fact that Ethan was being rude to AB live on stream and everyone heard it. Number one snarker, picture of the button. Not fallen victim to their mods yet, yada, 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 but it's just this Andre meme, Ethan shooting AB, and he says, look what you've done, Abe, or AB, you've made me look bad. And then new button screen just dropped, and the fact that AB barely spoke today indicates how he really feels, so on and so forth. So that's what happened, and it's certainly not good. No employer should ever speak to their employee like this, and frankly, no person should ever speak to another person like this, but I wouldn't consider this something that is a scandal or cancelable. What I think is actually worse and more of a scandal or more cancelable is their response to the backlash. Right after this happened and he realizes that everyone can hear what he's saying, Ethan Klein says
I feel like we should have
this.
just ended the whole thing. We were at the end.
Yeah,
Starts
we can. Let's
at
end it.
about
You want
the 1 minute mark. So this is right after it happened.
Hey.
What? Okay,
I heard
well,
all that.
thanks, button.
All right.
The person in the background says that they heard.
Well, I'll just explain myself then. Like, it's like, you know, first of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do,
and
I
I
know.
loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know.
it makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button me, dude. Can you imagine that button me over like that? Like, dude, I mean, it could have been worse. What kind of button is this, bro? Who's getting?
And then this is where it starts to get bad, because he's not taking any responsibility for this. He says, and I quote, "The button fucked me for that." But you're passing all of the blame for what you did onto the button for the fact that, I don't know, it didn't cover up how you were treating people. Imagine applying this logic anywhere else. I drive drunk, have an accident, and then blame the alcohol for the accident instead of my decision to do what I did. I mean, that's just kind of insane. So as this blew up, of course, Ethan is going to respond to it because he constantly responds to internet drama he's involved in, but his response is actually pretty bad. And I think it's even worse than the initial scandal that happened, with the first issue being that the section of the video where this happened in the live stream has actually been cut. And if you go to this last part, you can see for yourself, there's a cut right around here as that whole interaction that we saw in this clip was entirely removed. Also, if we scroll down to the comments on this, we can see some people mentioning it. Can't wait to watch this totally normal, unedited video. And then other people are saying, like, we're going to need a button. The button is not working twice, blah, 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 blah. But you can see that people have realized that this part of the clip has been cut. So instead of actually addressing it, they're basically just trying to hide it. However, despite trying to hide it, that some of these posts blew up on Reddit, hit the r/all or r/popular, whichever one you scroll through, and now Ethan basically has to address it because it's getting pretty big and he really doesn't need any more scandals than he already has. So he decides on the next day's live stream to go ahead and address it. And I think this is probably one of the worst addresses that he could have made. It's pretty bad. So we're going to watch it. I'm going to pause periodically to talk about it. First things first, normal speed.
I guess we should talk about the button thing. Here's what I'm going to say about the button thing. At the end of the content court yesterday, there was a moment where I made an aside to AB and I was angry and the button didn't work and everybody saw the interaction. I'm embarrassed that you guys saw it.
That's very important language right there. I'm embarrassed that you guys saw it. He's not embarrassed that he did it or regretful that he spoke to AB the way that he did. He is embarrassed that other people witnessed how he spoke to AB. That is a profound lack of self-awareness and lack of accountability, but it does get worse.
However, I do believe that this is a private, professional situation that was never meant to be public.
And that I also have issue with. He's saying it is a private and professional situation, but it wasn't either. It wasn't private because he did it in front of the 6 or 8 other employees that they have there in the studio to make the live stream happen. And it certainly wasn't professional either because no professional should ever speak to their employees like that. This was not either private or professional. And the fact that he thinks it should have been or is for some reason is very telling to his beliefs in what privacy and professionality actually means. Anyway, it gets worse.
And I will continue to handle it in such a way, in the same fashion. We will continue to work on this situation behind the scenes as professionals, as coworkers, and I mean, that's really all I got. You want to?
So he's saying you were not meant to see it. But us not being meant to see it does not make it any better. If I slap my friend and a bystander calls the police on me, I can't then tell the police, oh, well, he wasn't meant to see it, and then that just be okay. That doesn't excuse anything. Now, after that, Dan, who's one of the producers on this podcast, steps in to say that the way the button worked caused a bit of a glitch, which meant part of the live stream was actually cut, and we missed vital context. So he steps in to talk about it and defend Ethan, and very specifically, this is what he says.
Away from it for a second. The way it played out, it is cosmically unfortunate how it happened. Because basically what happened is the button removed the 20 seconds leading up to what everybody heard on the episode.
I got anti-buttoned.
You got anti-buttoned. And so what that means is A, it didn't have the full context, and B, the conversation was hidden behind the button screen, so you couldn't really see like the mood in the room as it was being said. So I would like to just show the footage. I like to show everybody what happened.
Dan believes in this.
Personally, I felt like it really just was not that big a deal and is kind of funny. So
here's Dan. Okay, go ahead.
So this is what actually happened in the room.
We should have just ended the whole thing. We were at the end.
Yeah, we can. Let's end it. You want to tell me about his scam shit?
Words?
You mean finish it all up today?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, we're close enough.
Final words.
We got 10 minutes. Do we watch this?
Like,
So this was all
final
seen.
words. Like I have a Discord and people.
Fuck me.
Like, people that join my course, they can use. They get access to
Why
a
fuck
Discord.
Look how Olivia's the only. Look at Olivia. Look how sweet she is. Can you switch to
Wait, why is
Olivia
it
real
cropped
quick?
all weird? I don't know why.
I've been watching him work on it for it's
And this is Olivia defending AB, the guy who put together this gigantic, like, 100-slide PowerPoint. So she's saying that she feels bad for AB if they're going to skip the rest of the PowerPoint because they ran out of time because of how hard he worked on it. So she's defending him right now. And this is part of the reason why Ethan gets upset.
It's really good. It's
okay.
Really good.
Thank you.
Bro,
That's so sweet.
Yeah, this is how the show works. We ran out of time.
Yeah. No, I think we covered most of
We're
it.
doing it.
What are you
Making it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday. Maybe. Is it?
You guys like.
All right, I'm taking my hand off. and the button didn't work.
Okay.
So there's the full context of the clip, and you are allowed and encouraged to make your own decisions and judgments based on it, but in my personal opinion, this doesn't make it much better. AB didn't want his work cut short. He said that, and then Ethan got on him for saying that. That's still unprofessional to do it in a public setting in front of everyone, including the other employees, workplace peers. To me, this added context doesn't really change or excuse or defend anything that happened. So after this, they go on to reiterate that everything that happened was a private conversation, but honestly, if the private conversation was rude and humiliating towards an employees, then it was supposed to be private is such a terrible excuse. You might remember a little while back, Steven Crowder, who's a big conservative podcaster, had an abusive interaction verbally with his wife, who was pregnant at the time. But as this clip was leaked and then blew up online, his excuse for it and his defense was that it was a private conversation between a husband and a wife, and the internet should have never been allowed to have an opinion on it. But I think we can all see why that's a terrible argument. Just because I wasn't supposed to see something is not an excuse for that something being bad. I feel like this should go without saying, but you weren't supposed to see me being mean is never an excuse for being mean. Anyway, that's the drama, that's the response. I'd be curious for your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.